welcome back. And here I am playing the Civil War portion of the game. I'm gonna reorganize some of my forces. I see we have a bunch right here, but let's see. Let's see how many are selected. We have about 69 divisions, so alright. So we're starting out with that, and I'm gonna try and just go ahead and start organizing my forces. H-Man passed away, kicked the bucket, and now we're in the midst of a civil war. But let's see, I can select a national focus. The Burger Krieg, we'll go for that. And I'm going to probably incorporate a different strategy to use. The Franco-Burgundy War. It says the situation within Europe rapidly developed as the German sphere falls into the total collapse. Many have wondered what, if any, move of the secretive Black State would make. The recent leaked footage from Germany showing the organization convoys moving into Burgundy, a border that has become one of the most militarized on Earth overnight. Many observers declare this is evidence that Heinrich had withdrawn support of Reinhardt's claim to leadership. Yet the true reasoning was now revealed itself, while the international community is still scrambling to make sense of the chaos. Burgundian tanks are now rolling into Paris, and the French military, severely weakened by the German sanctions, have either been forced into a full retreat or their divisions destroyed. Wherever they dare make their stands, the shadow looms over France. And there's the South African War. So there's a lot going on with France. And there's also the South African War going down here. And Madagascar's got their own civil war going on. So yeah, it's everything. We're at DEFCON 1. Wow. So that's because there's like 5 or 6 different conflicts breaking out at once. But yep. Anyways, get right back into it. Bulgaria sides with Germany. I think we already did that last time. Let's see. I'm gonna try and so many events coming at once. Let's pause. Alright, so, yep. So, it seems like we're doing okay here. So yes, we've pushed out Spear. And we got to be mindful of that. I've played the Civil War before, and the challenging thing is spears sometimes either will naval invade and come over here later, but it's all contingent upon what happens. But yes, Hans Spider consumes control of Germania. With Germany having collapsed into civil war across the country, even at this early stage, and the conflict, the toll, both in terms of lives and destruction, is rapidly becoming apparent. Yet it appears as though not everyone in the Reich is interested in taking part in the destructive war. In light of the collapse, the Emergency Council Field Marshal Hans Speidel, best known for foiling the attempted coup during the West Russian War, today marched into Germania. On the steps of the Reichstag, the respected war hero Field Marshal Ern Rommel, okay, interesting. Besides him, Speidel declared his neutrality in the conflict. The city of Germania will now be garrisoned by the force of Speidel, Rommel, and the other generals loyal to their cause of neutrality, with a stern warning of an unshakable resistance should any side in the Civil War attempt to attack the city. More trouble in Germany. So yeah, we're gonna try and push these guys out. Expansion into Africa. West Africa has had it rough since the end of the Second World War. Luftwaffe units based out of the Reich's holding in Central Africa have anything with the past few decades bombed anything inland into dust. With the death of H-Man and the collapse of the Reich, those Luftwaffe units haven't moved in a long time. Already small nations on the coast have begun expanding inland, free from fear of constant German bombing. When the bombing resumes or not, only time will tell. Interesting. So yeah, it seems like also here, Rice Commissariat Moscow and all that is fractured. And yep, so pushing back, Karl Donitz launches a coup into Crimea. With the Reich tumbling in chaos, the silence from Crimea has grown increasingly deafening. The home of the German Black Sea Fleet, with enough naval infrastructure to construct a small steel island, the bustling port has seen a huge amount of attention. With rumors of daily arrivals of gifts flooding from the governor's stately home of, I don't know how to say that. However, despite the constant flow of gifts from, I don't know that either, barely any information has come back out of. That is until early this morning, as a frenzy of communiques filled the airways. Famous naval hero, Karl Donitz took to the radio around 7 a.m. to denounce the turncoats who, in Germany's darkest hour, dared to strip her of her liberties and has enjoyed since her birth. No doubt a reference to Hans Speidel's disregard for the sanctity of the Reichstag. As he spoke, Marines in plain clothes took up key positions around the city and dockyards. By noon, the civilian governor had resigned, citing personal disagreements in a brief and likely coerced resignation, claiming that he had wished to stay neutral during the conflict. Donitz lamented that the intrigue in Germania had finally pushed him into the only faction he felt to be true, legal government of Germany, the conservatives of Bormann. No doubt, as surprised at the victory of the rivals of Crestfall, several key Bormannite commanders have publicly accepted Donitz's support, claim that only a war hero has a true and pure as Karl Donitz could have seen through the thick smoke of our degenerate propaganda and into the incontrovertible will of the leader. This is a devastating blow to our cause. Affections in our navy have already begun, and most worryingly, there are fears that undecided naval commanders spent the last few weeks wooing may now rally to Donitz and extended Bowman's banners. Blast that traitor. It says Transmission from the territorial military commander in Serbia. Formation of Africa Shield with Germany still consumed by the chaos of civil war and many of its territories becoming plagued with conflicts of their own. German Africa has today announced its intention whether this terrible storm weather this terrible storm, while the three German African colonies have previously only enacted cordial yet basic relations with each other. A joint declaration from Siegfried Müller, Wolfgang Schneck, and Hans Huttig has announced the creation of Africa Shield, officially the alliance of defense and purposes in order to ensure the stability within the colonies. Many international observers have expressed concern of what the alliance's true intention in Africa may be. Whilst the OFN has condemned the immoral colonial alliance, many within the German sphere have praised Muller in particular for his dedication to protect German interests and personnel across the continent. A worrying development. The Serbs rise up. I'm really more concerned about the German events right now. What's going on with that? So Karl Donitz seizes Crimea. We've already read that. So like, this is his own government down there. Rice Commissary in Ukraine is still hanging on. Alright, Leader Gorin, you have a heavy heart. I write that the Civil War has broken out throughout the great fatherland. That's I guess that's what they mean by Germany. An attempt to oust one of the only true leader, you. A surprising number of countrymen do not share our vision that the only way for the Reich to return to greatness is through military might and economic restructuring, but we, your allies, the Caucasus, know that the only way for Germany to triumph once again is through your leadership. To help the true sons of Germany in this trying time, we shall ensure that your supply and fuel oil is helped distribute throughout the war effort. Hopefully this will bring about a quick and decisive victory in your favor. Alright, so we're getting oil resources. That's good. Alright, so we're being off Heinrich pretty much. And a Vice Commissariat Norwegian. Oh wow. Norway too? With the German Reich war quickly becoming ever more consumed by the chaos and warfare of the collapse as today it is the German collapse as today has claimed its next victim. Speaking before Storting this morning, Norwegian Prime Minister President Gulbrand Lund announced that the newly empowered government has been informed of the immediate resignation of Vice Commissar Josef Terboven and the dissolution of the Norwegian garrison, effectively marking the end of German occupation of Norway. Yet, whilst many across the Reich attempt to escape from the war zone, it has been reported that Terboven has instead flown back into Germany, along with a steady stream of Norwegian soldiers returning home to fight for their preferred side. Whilst the details behind these developments are largely unknown, one thing is for certain: Norway is now a free nation once again. Alright, so there's that. Brittany declares neutrality. So the whole world is just on fire. I mean, look at England. Yeah, I mean, England's in a civil war. Burgundy's absorbed most of France. So yeah, I'm gonna put my troops on the line and move them there eventually. Yeah, let's add some aircraft and some. Definitely need to add some aircraft and some ICBMs. And I'm gonna sprinkle some out here. Let's see. Yep. We need some helicopters. Some jets. I see Spear's forces have landed. And also Poland is free. So the Burger Creek, that's done. We need a new focus. We can do rally the troops. Alright, so we're done beating off Spear. It says Goring speaks. Today, our rifle leader, Hermann Goring, spoke out from the Hamburger Rathaus to an adoring crowd of civilians and soldiers thronging the Rathaus market. Many more crammed Hamburg streets, striving to hear the new leader's first address to the public. We will go down in history as the rightful successors of the German Reich. After all, that was our late leader, H-Man, placed his trust in to protect Germany from these traitors, communists, and weaklings. We have forgotten the true path that made Germany strong. Germany did not become powerful by licking the boots of the West and feeding the out of the East. And no, Germany became strong by conquest. Germany became strong by bayonet and bullet. We threw off the chains of Versailles and crushed the empires of France, Britain, and Russia. The German people have made themselves, and today we retake Germany from those who would take her glory, like the traitors of the Weimar, my comrades. We will destroy the bootlicker Bormann and the puppet Heydrich and Spear, the accused liberal. Top militarist general led the crowd in saluting the new leader, including Ferdinand Schroeder and the new field marshal of the militarist German faction. So gain political power. So yeah, let's see. Purchase infantry equipment, man-pad equipment. You could do that. So I knew it. Spear is trying to again do more naval invasions, and as soon as we mop that up, I'm gonna move my troops in these port areas to try and cut them off. So yep, so we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna send these troops. I see they Spear is now fighting Bormann. Yeah, it seems like we're doing. I'm just moving some troops around, and I'm going to move these guys out there. So we got improved equipment already. Alright, we're just gonna go for it. I decided to go ahead and attack Borman first. I was told to deal with him first. So we got rallied the troops. Yeah, we're in the red. Borman has all the resources. That's the thing that makes it so difficult to beat. He's got all the resources and stuff. Let's go ahead and go for rally the workers. Might have to train some divisions. Alright, so we're doing okay down here. But yeah, we will see. He's also fighting Spear, so that kind of gives us a little bit of advantage if he's on a two-front war. And by pushing him that way, that should help. But he's probably got the most divisions out of everybody. Okay, we got adaptive train, anti-tank infantry, so now the rest of our units are gonna pull down into this area, this corridor. Hopefully we can continue to push. And I'm just checking up here just to make sure. The fall of Lepis has fallen. The birthplace of Johann Bach has entered the center of heavy fighting. In recent days, more Borman's forces have been driven out of the cultural-rich city. It is, but a hefty price. The Germans from both sides lay strewn throughout what remains of the city, though damaged. Many of Lipp's culturally significant buildings still stand. Although heavy artillery bombardment has devastated the industrial parks, many civilians wander the streets, digging through the rubble for lost loved ones. In the center of the city, over 300 men have created a formidable holdout of the monument to the Battle of Nations. Though surrounded and low on supplies, it's expected they will surrender soon. Bormann has suffered a great defeat today. It remains to be seen if his loyalists will be able to recapture this strategically important city or will remain occupied indefinitely. Alright. So, yeah, apparently that's a major key strong point area. And I see him and Spear have stopped fighting. So, that's interesting. I guess he's trying to focus on me now. So, I'm gonna have to draw a new objective. Alright, so so we're doing alright. However, his forces, he's got a good amount of forces stacked up right there. I may bring these guys down in here just to reinforce. Can we get any more air bases? Let's see. Just bring some in. There's no airfields, so we gotta make do with what we got. Alright, so we got a national focus down. We also need to do some research. There's military encouragement and then manpower, so we need the manpower, so let's go for that. Alright, so what else can we do? I'll go for mission type tactics, and let's see. What's going on with Navy? We'll do that for the Navy. Defensive tactics, sure. So I'm going for a little bit of a doctrine focus. Oh, so the South African War has stopped? Let's see. I mean, it's a mess with Ostland. Let's see. Who came out? Oh, wow. That's weird. I thought the German colonies were still together in a pact, but wait, let's see. That's so weird. I know the mod itself it needed to be updated or something like that. Like the submod, the Wild Ride submod needed to be updated, but that's kind of weird how they said they made a pack thing and then all of a sudden I get this. That's weird. End of the South African War. I mean, maybe they lost. I don't know. So we got advanced landing craft, the technology done. Let's see. Let's pause it. So, Idris Germany's almost capitulated. Then you got Bormann and his country. So, and then Speer's got 25 to 67. But let's get a new technology going. What should we go for? Destroyers, cruisers. We could go for a cruiser, improved cruiser hold. Why not? Alright, so I'm gonna... Alright. So yeah, we are slowly making our way down to the southern part of Germany. There's a military coup in Brazil. All these events coming down now. Algeria, Brazil. Look at that, we're at 75,000 manpower. It's crazy how we burn through that much so quick. Nuremberg captured. Another big event. Nuremberg, once the beating heart of the party, the origin of some of the greatest political marches on earth, has fallen today. The wide streets, the once loud, crowded with NSDAP supporters, lay barren only to witness the past glories of the corpses lying in the streets. Bormann loyalists were spread throughout the city, combined with hostile civilian population, and aggressors had no choice but to sweep the city house by house, apartment by apartment, block by block. The city was, for all intents and purposes, a giant fortress. Heavy urban fighting has taken its toll to both sides, along with the civilian population. Thousands are dead, and the city has been gutted. The loss of the stronghold is a disaster. Bormann and his men, if the front line can soon be stabilized, much of southern Germany will lay wide open to attack. Much of southern Germany may soon suffer the same fate of Nuremberg. Alright. So I see, yeah, right here it's been taken. And their lines are overstretched for the most part. And I see they're fighting against Speer again right here, and Heydrich. So there's that. So we got For the Glory, so we got some more manpower, and we're just burning through it so quick. We'll do Guns of the Patriot. France has a new leader. Alright. We've lost more troops than Bormann himself. But that's because we've been fighting two others. Speer and Heydrich, now him. So we're doing alright, hopefully. See if we can exploit that side. And there's like no airfield in sight. The Italian Empire has defeated Croatia, okay. we're down to 0 manpower. That's... Alright, so there's equipment exploitation, stability. We need some stability. And we're getting resistance in occupied territory. Let's see, how are we winning this thing? Yeah, Boardman is probably the most challenging and hardest out of everybody because he has all the factories and resources, and he's literally got all the units. Let's see if we could just try and push down there. We got to Nuremberg and then we stopped for the most part. Alright, so we're kind of breaking out. The enemy snipers targeting our officers. They will pay. Assassin strikes Schroeder. Alright, I'm gonna move you guys down here. Gotta plug in those gaps, huh? Yeah. So, English Civil War is over. Trying to get his forces to spread out a little bit, you know, but we're in the green sometimes and sometimes we're not, but it's all good. Did mission type tactics, okay, so we got that done as part of our land doctrine. Military encouragement. Brittany cuts ties, so a lot of stuff going on with Brittany and all that. All right, so we captured Munich, and that's so it says Munich captured. Today, Martin Bormann's legacy resolved faltered for Munich. The NSADP, capital of the movement, has finally fallen to advancing forces. It was here that Eichmann's genius culminated the annexation of our Sudetenland. This is where the men gathered for the liberation of our Austrian brothers. This is where Eichmann himself took to the streets to end the vile Weimar Republic. The birthplace of the NSDAP was not at least thought without flight, though Bormann's loyalists fought in every street. Civilians were pressed, ganged into labor bridges, homes transformed into makeshift bunkers, streets blocked off with an assortment of rubble, ruined vehicles, whatever else could be tossed in the street. Massive bombardment softened the city, and the main attack commenced and combined with an equally determined infantry assault. The defenders were forced to withdraw from the city. Bormann's position was precarious, with enemies deep into southern Germany. Many speculate that his faction is close to collapse. Whether he sees his loyalties and rally and recover remains not to be seen. Alright, so yeah, he is. So he's taking his main capital. Richard Nixon resigns. Okay, so he's out of there. Alright, I'm gonna have to redraw. Redraw this objective. See, now we're fighting Spear. Or we're putting Bormann's forces into Spear. I'm surprised Spear hasn't attacked her yet. Yeah, we are kind of like barely holding on. Although we've stopped our advance, and now we see Spear's forces. So we've. Oh, did we win yet? Oh, so, okay, so we won. So we beat Bormann. Oof. Alright, so we beat Bormann, and now we gotta deal with Spear. let's see. We just got a focus. We have been got a focus done. We have been had a focus done. Let's go for exploitation. We just gained some manpower, so we're doing okay. We're cooking with oil, and we just defeated Borman, so that's like the bigger relief. And so we're dealing with Spear, as we're gonna try and get everybody reorganized. So it says Stuttgart captured. It says Borman's citadel on the Rhine, Stuttgart, has been overrun, and the fighting has lasted for days to come to an end. The dreary silence has fallen over the once prosperous city. Many civilians try to hold up in their homes and flee as German fought German across the vast automotive complexes and the corporate skyscrapers. Some early reports estimate over 60% of the city had been destroyed, and little housing that remains have quickly become quarters of the newly arrived conquerors. As most of the civilian population remains encouraged for the few resources lay unclaimed, only one question remains unanswered: will Borman return? So, alright, I'm just have to put these guys forward. And let's see, are there any airfields we could use? Let's add some fighter jets. Oh, we can't add anything there? Oh, we don't have any manpower, that's why. President Kennedy was assassinated. Alright. Alright, so we're punching through pretty quickly through Spear. Hanover captured. The Battle of Hanover is finally over. A deathly silence has fallen over the city while civilians pick over bones of their prior lives looking for the scraps of the loved ones. Once again, Spear's men fought with valor and courage, but once again they were thrown back and routed from the battlefield in the face of overwhelming firepower. Hanover, now ruined industry and strategic location, was vital to Spear's war effort. Without this important strategic center, Spear's position in the northwest is precarious indeed. Rumors fly around that Spear and his loyalists are on the back foot, and that another major defeat like this could very well knock him out the war. Alright. So it seems like Spear's line are collapsing for the most part. How am I supposed to stop Black Arms trade? Do I have any political power? I can't even do the event. That's odd. So I wonder what's going on. It seems like Ostland is back. Rice Commissariat Ukraine is still there, but okay. But yes, we should be wrapping this up. Hopefully. I'm trying to take out both Hydrich and and Spear. Okay, so we got the northern part. Alright, Essen captured. Seems like we finished off Spear already. The capital proclaimed reformers of Germany has fallen today. Now that has stopped the killings for now, the trapped soldiers who were hiding throughout the city. The battle was cataclysmic. Steadfast and zealous students clashed with an equally determined enemy. The bombardment of the entire city, which city did little to dampen the spirits of defenders. Spear's loyalists of all ages took up defenses in the rubble, impatiently awaited the inevitable assault on the city itself. The fight more resembled the death struggle reminiscent of the Great Battle of the East than a simple clash of a split country, as waves of young men attempted to storm important locations, many of them mowed down in the streets. Back and forth battles raged for important buildings that still overlooked technically vital areas of the now ruined city. Strong points too stubborn were all repeatedly hit by ballistics, ground-based missile systems by the attackers, supported by tanks and APC. One by one, the city blocks began to fall. Cars began loaded with bombs and artillery shells. Cars were loaded with bombs and artillery shells were the response, and more than a few surprise attackers met a grisly fate as these makeshift bombs started to hit convoys, troop formations, armor, and strong points. Refusing to surrender after the fall of the city, Spear's forces abandoned their military wear and blended into what remains of the civilian population, which is currently being brutalized as the conquerors exact revenge and try to root out the remains of the reformers. While this bloodbath raged on, Albert Speer and his most important advisors quietly left the city, their current location unknown. As observers watch these events unfold, one recurring question keeps being asked: is this the fate that awaits the rest of Germany? Germany's latest blowback doesn't look over. So yeah, we can do All Brave Sons, but this is pretty much over. Just go ahead and take care of that. Frankfurt was captured. And we're take out Heydrich. That's the next one. So yep, we'll overwhelm them and finish them off there, and yeah, that'll be the end of the Civil War event for the most part. last remaining holdouts. The Siberian Black League, that must be Omsk. Hold on, I'm kind of curious to see. I guess that's them, yeah. Siberian Black League. Oh, it says Schucker wins in Austin. So they've got their own thing. Alright, so Civil War is pretty much over. It says Strasbourg is the nerve center of Reinhard Heydrich's military operation has been finally overrun. The resulting battles left the city burnt and ruined. Not much of it remains. The organization has fortified the riverbanks and city heavily. Only after hours, the continuous bombardments and armored assaults were the organization's final push back to makeshift bridges able to set up. The city itself was nearly impossible to crack. The attackers closely hugged the sides of the streets as German civilians forced to drive vehicles loaded with bombs sped down the wide avenues towards the advancing men. As more of Strasbourg fell, entire blocks would burst into flames, having been wired to explode. Suicidal organization attacks would almost always hit formations hit by these massive explosions, in either an act of mercy or afraid that the staggering citizens may interfere with the plans. Most of the city's population was allowed to leave before the fighting. Leniency on the attackers' behalf may have backfired, as organization soldiers had managed to infiltrate with the refugees and now attack their enemy backlines. Worse yet, it looks as if Heydrich was managed to escape along with most of his general staff. What was meant to be quick and decisive victory has turned out to be a titanic struggle, with the sporadic fighting still breaking out. We still have to want to bring some units off because they're attritioning. I mean, we capture the city, but I guess we have to finish them off to the last man. Okay, so there we go. Heydrich is done, Spear is gone. Okay, so it says, since the moment we submitted our request to Speidel, the German nation has been unified and worried for fear of Speidel's response. This tension has dissipated following the announcement made by Rommel in front of international cameras that Speidel would have surrendered Germania to Göring's forces peacefully and issued an order for all military forces of the city to lay down arms. an order most welcomed by the weary guards of Germania. Following the announcement, Germany erupted in joy and relief as nationwide beer halls, pubs were flooded with crowds of citizens and off-duty soldiers desperate for a drink. Although supply was short in everywhere but Germania, it appears that peace has finally arrived to a battered Reich that needs it now. For now. Alright. So now I've been welcomed to the submod. It says, welcome to the wild ride. Please keep your arms leg inside the vehicles at all times. And yes. So now it's official. Although alright, so I'm going to end the video here and we will pick it back up. Let's see. Oh, there's the Great Purge, and here's a different focus tree. Here's a focus tree too. But I am going to end it right here as finally we completed all the events prior to Wild Ride. The Civil War is done, and let me know if you like this. Provide constructive feedback, and thanks for watching, and have a great weekend.